just a very pretty canyon with coral and skeletons. Well, something channeled through the area. Yeah. But yeah, so, where do you wish to go from there? That is true, and I think, if I remember correctly, you should actually be up here. That's right, that's right. That's the last thing we did. You threw the meat, not them. That is true. I kind of meant you as a group, but... Alright, we will continue. So, next day... Okay. You'll make it 2 more hexes. Skill points don't exist. Yeah. So, during the night, so we're going to figure out who was keeping watch and everyone else is going to be asleep / not wearing armor. I'm going to go left to right. A 3, so Tom was the one that was awake when this occurred. You haven't yet. Okay, we'll go with that. These will be very familiar. So you'll be off on the side in your little camp, your campfire. You would, because you started a new day since leveling up. So you can set your HP to level 3. Tom, you hear a rustling through the underbrush. Go ahead and roll me a perception, because you would have been on the lookout. Okay. Through the underbrush, thousands of centipedes. And so everyone will awaken and will be going into initiatives. Ooh, right. Oop. Xerax has fallen into a coma. Yes. You hear a terrible splat, 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 and as you look over in disgust, you see him fisting a jar of mayonnaise. They get a 21. Are your guys' initiatives updating? Click on your guy, now click on your initiative. Yes, it works. Perfect. I'm gonna make Xerax's a 0. So, descending. You would have rested. You're fully rested. So you're at max capacity. Oh no, it doesn't do everything for you. But to remind you of dealing with these, you know that they do damage on when they are on you, and if you do enough damage, you'll dissipate some of them and it'll reduce their effectiveness. So, from the top, oh, it is them. I believe that can move them very well. And I might give it a damage component because you would be scattering some of them. I think I know what you're about to do. But Yeldrin, you are up. Okay. Probably a dart. A 21 will hit. I'm assuming you're targeting the bottom one. So that's reduced. Okay, Abdal. Surprisingly enough, you know that they're not actually weak to fire. I mean, fire is a good thing to hit them with. It'll do lots of damage, but... The very south one. That will miss. Anything else? Movement or otherwise? Okay. Gramdram, it is your turn. Yes? No, he has a 9 on this. He's just rubbing it in. Sponsored by Bad Dragon. Which one? I think that first bit is just flavor text. Like, it just, it. Oh, this is something different. I thought I looked up 5e. It gave me a weird-ass thing. There it is. Special triggered when they take damage. Well, nothing on when they take damage. It has no immunities or vulnerabilities. Its resistances are bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Known all those things before. Also, it actually matters which one you target because you only get an extra d6 on that one. So which are you targeting? Okay, sure. Okay. That will hit. So 4, and then 5 more. Okay, that'll be reduced. Anything else? You can always swing again. There's no full attack in this system. It might be for 2-weapon fighting. Yeah. Sure. Alstad. They don't have reach. They have to be on top of you. Yep. I believe so. "60 foot long and 10 feet wide." I can, but That's fair enough, but I think that's going to be about it. Yes. It'd be very impressive for if it starts from you to pull it to yourself. Strength, okay. Okay, so they're going to roll their save, starting from the top. DC is 13, right? No. Yes. No, no, and no. Yep, so these ones. Well, one of them is going to step onto you, and the other ones are going to try and brave through the wind to go for Gram Dram. In fact, they're going to double move, so he is horribly swarmed by 3. But an attack on House... Yeah, Halstead. 20 to hit. That's 12 damage. Now to Yeldrin. No. That's true. I'm gonna roll some things for that. I'm gonna spread these out so I can keep track of their various damages, but all of them do seem to reduce in size. Jacob, if you can hear us, you are broadcasting everything you hear. But it sounds like it's over at this point, so go ahead. Yeah. 13 will hit. Okay, 4 damage. Okay. Any movement? Okay, Abdal, your turn. It turns out it's actually Tom that's broadcasting. Yeah. That'll just barely miss. Yeah, well, after that is Gram Dram. Alright, go ahead. That will miss. That one will hit. Four damage, okay. Okay, 3 attacks on you for provoking. They were, I had to spread them out. Okay. So, 2 at full strength. 17 and 11. So 13 damage there. And then 1 at half strength. 14 for 8. They're quite dangerous. Alstad. No, it has to go its full distance, yeah. Otherwise, you could do some fun stuff with Fireball. I always wanted to throw a lightning ball or a fire bolt, I guess. What's that? Yes. Are you dropping a, I think Entangle's a 20-foot, like, just square, right? Not radius. Yeah. But, so you can, yeah. Like that. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. They have to make a dex save, correct? Or is it strength? Okay. Alright. Going, let's go upper left, upper right, bottom left. Fail, fail, fail. They're all entangled. Except for the one on you. Okay. Let me see one thing about entangle. Okay, it is not concentration, so you can keep that wind going if you want. But they are going to attack you. An 8. Okay. Here's the question. Is the wind where you originally casted, or does it follow you? I see. Any creature must spend 2 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves when moving closer to you. You can change. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you just kind of... Okay. So, that way. Okay. Perfect. And so with all the screaming about centipedes and horribleness, Xerax will finally awaken. Oh, this is actually fairly important. Everyone but Gramdram has no armor right now. Yeah, yeah. But Xerax, it is your turn. You have your weapon at your side, but no armor on. Assuming you wear armor. I don't know. Okay, then. To be fair, they're on the edge of the entangle, so he can hit them down there if you want. No, it's every foot of movement towards you. So he can perpendicular it just fine. Yes. Have you used it? That's strange. That would let you hit it from there, yes. By the way, this is kind of important from now on. Reach means it always hits at 10 feet. You actually can't attack anything 5 feet away from you. I'm pretty sure that's just how the reach function works. Yeah. Yes. So if you look up halberd, like on the information tab, you can see it's a reach, and I don't think it was versatile. I saw something there. That's what it is, yes. Yeah, so you have to be 10 feet away. A 21 will hit. Oh, I see, and that's why it says 10 feet. That might just be, like, the lance allows you to do that. So, like... Because I know you have to take, like, polearm mastery, or... There is a feat that lets you attack within 5 feet at disadvantage with a reach weapon. That might be Pathfinder, though. It's been a bit. But they're gonna go. So this one's going to, rather than fight the wind, try and approach. End of its turn. Right, you raged. So one more. After resistances. Okay, starts. That's my mistake. But so it'll make its save. It'll fail and go 15 feet back. So it uses half its movement to stand up and then leaves the wind. After double moving, and now 3 separate ones are going to attempt to break free of the entangle, which is another strength save. No. No. And yet, that nat 20 at -4. So one of them is going to escape and then use its movement to crawl all over Xerax. Makes sense. Yeldrin, it is your turn. Ooh, speaking of reach, this is also important. So, in both 5th edition and Pathfinder, there's something called an attack of opportunity. It's essentially, if something triggers something, or if something does something that triggers it, you get a free attack on them, regardless of if it's your turn or not. Pathfinder had a lot of ways to do it, 5th edition's less, but the main way to do it in 5th edition is if it leaves your threatened squares. So your threatened squares is like a donut around you with a reach weapon. So if I draw it, it's going to look like this. In between those two. So since it started in it and then moved out after it escaped the entangle, you are allowed to take an attack on it. Yeah, you can just take an attack on it before it moves on to you. So just keep that in mind. That'll miss. But now you know, so keep that in mind. Yeldrin, you are up. Okay, so it's going to be up there. Yeah, no, it's in the stack. There are 2 stacked on this square right now. I've got it selected, so go ahead and roll. 23 will hit. 3 damage, or is that, yeah, 3 damage. And then a 9 will miss. Yeah, unfortunately. That's the big issue, but Abdal. Okay. Good luck, Abdal. That will hit. Okay. You swipe off a fair amount of centipedes, and it is dissipated enough that it'll be weaker. Gramdram. Okay, you're going to use your action for that. Okay, so that's a d8 plus casting stat. So for you, probably +2. So 5. And unless you want to move... You say one thing and you do another, that's scooching back 10 feet. Halstad, go ahead. Okay. It's still going. Alright, roll to hit. That absolutely will. At the start of their turn, they will. That's fine. turn it a bit. Okay. Xerax. You've got a centipede swarm on you that you can't attack. It originates from a square next to you. It is currently on top of you, so it wouldn't work. I'd say if you wouldn't attack anything else with it, but if you wanted to breathe on yourself, you would have to make the roll too, but you could. Kind of shooting it straight up or straight down and bathing yourself in fire. You would. It's just you would still have to save. Resistance reduces damage by half. It would be able to attack you using that same attack of opportunity, because you move out of its threatened space. Okay, so that's a dex save from both of you, or was it Constitution? One of those two. It's based off of your specs, so fire is dex. Or red is dex. You make a dex save as well, so we both do. So it will fail. And then a 14, I believe, will succeed, because 8 plus... What's your constitution? 3 or 2? 2, so 10. So your DC is 12. So 2d6 damage. Roll that. That's never good to hear. Ooh. 10 damage will roast those centipedes alive. And because you saved, this is where it gets fun. You take half from saving, and then half from resistance, so you take 2 damage from that. And so now, there are 3 swarms left, one of which is getting shot by wind, and the other 2 are being held by lots of tiny little plants. So starting with the wind, it will succeed. And then the entangled will fail and fail. So the one that's in the wind doesn't really... They're not smart enough to recognize what's going on with the ground. So they're going to try and move through here, which is difficult terrain, so that's 10, 15, 20. They're going to get onto Yeldrin and attempt to gnaw on him. Getting a 13. It does. You can take another swing. An 8 will miss. But it sounds like they missed as well. So, Yeldrin, your turn. Well, first you're going to sword them, right? That will hit. There you go. A 12 will hit. That one is significantly less effective. And if you move away, it will take an attack on you. So an 11. Abdal, your turn. So there are 2 there. One is significantly weaker than the other. Do you want to target the full swarm or the weak one? Okay. Go ahead and roll. This is a little off topic, but while he's failing at that, don't you just love how fast 5th edition turns go compared to Pathfinder? Alright. Yep. Remember, people, you always have inspiration. Oh, you might not have been here for that explanation, Jacob. It's not once. It's once per session, but if you do something particularly, you accomplish a major goal or do something. Yes, exactly. You can get it back, and it gives you advantage after you roll. So Jordan sees he failed, so he uses inspiration. He rolls a 22, and he hits, doing 6 damage, and then 3 fire damage, I believe. It's your casting stat. Oh, you only have 2. Okay. Okay, so it's very close to dissipating, but it's not quite there yet. Gramdram. No, only when something is in melee with you. I'm sorry, within 5 feet of you. You could shoot a swarm in your square with no penalties. You can. Oh, well, I just meant in general, not this attempt, but yes, that will miss. I didn't see the roll. Anything else? Halstad, your turn. Okay. Stop concentrating. You're on the shore. Yeah. Alright. I'll say your legs might get a little wet, but you're not the Wicked Witch of the West, so you're not going to melt, are you? A 10 will miss. Now that I've mentioned it, everyone is using their inspiration on centipedes. That will hit. A session. So 7 damage, okay. You know, I can't argue with that. That one is now dissipated, it'll be weaker. Xerax, your turn. Okay. Okay. That's with advantage. No. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's a misterminology on my part. Rage just gives you +2 damage, and then Reckless Swing is the advantage. There we go. So yeah, so if you hit, it'll do 2 more, but that'll miss. Alright, the swarms are going to go. So 2 are going to attempt to escape, starting with the stronger one, because they are different in there. Fail, and will fail. So they're still entangled. It's a minute for entangled, right? I think there's about half the duration left. It shouldn't matter, but it's good to keep track. This one, however, has a bunch of targets in front of it, and they all look mighty tasty. It's going to go straight ahead onto Abdal. So it's going to attempt to bite you. Getting a 12. You don't have any armor on, so you have 10 plus dex. Okay. So 6 damage. Yeldarin. No, just piercing. It lists the damage right there. And the type. Sword does 7, okay. And then that unarmed will hit. Okay, you do a good amount to it. Avdol. It is. You say that, but that will hit. 8 damage. It is very close to, not death, because it's a swarm, but dissipating fully. Gramdram. Okay, roll to hit. That's a crit. If you click the damage, it should calculate the crit. Hopefully. Did you add the critical? You didn't add the critical extra damage on your character sheet. And then there's crit, 1d8, and I just fixed it for you, so now click it again. Yeah. Oh, no, syntax error again. Interesting. It just rolled it because it might have it saved because you clicked on it, so once you change it, it doesn't affect it, so just roll it regularly. I think it's a little moot because no matter how much you do, you will dissipate it. But if you want to know exactly how much you did. +2. Or whatever your bonus is, 3 or 2. Criticals are just the dice get multiplied. Okay. Halstad. There's 2 left. Okay. We're being targeted so much and getting Hunter's Mark on it. That'll miss, yeah. That one survived for a long time. Xerax. What are you going to do? Okay, so roll with advantage. On the character sheet, there should be like a... Yep. That'll miss. Alright, the swarm is going to go. Weak. Strong, neither escape. Yeldrin. 4 turns left. Okay, so the unarmed strike will hit. For 1 damage. Avdol, it is very weak. You figure a green flame blade bounced onto the weak one. Okay. That will hit, and that's going to flame the weak one to death. And 9 damage, so that one dissipates a bit. And of course, that one was the one the initiative was on. I believe they went after... They were first, so once Xerax goes. Gramdram. That will hit. I could see them make some type of Pokemon that's like millions peed or something, and it's just a swarm of creatures. Alstad. Okay. That will hit. Okay, this one has weakened Xerax. Are you going to Reckless? Okay. He did. He used it on himself. You crit! It'll be 2d10 plus a lot. Huh, looks like no one's able to... Oh, he probably doesn't have it calculated either. I'll fix that for you real fast. Roll 2d10 plus your regular amounts. There we go. It should work. So, plus 2 more, so... Mighty Blow. Yeldrin, they are on the ropes. And on the plants. Because you miss. Because you miss. Avdol. Oh, actually them, but I don't think it's going to... Well, it's good to get it out of the way now, right? As... They do not escape, Avdol. End it, please. Why did I say that? That will hit. You literally do enough. Oh, big hit, though. Yeah, you will... You will golf club swing with your battle axe and send centipedes flying everywhere. And you will all get 100 experience from that. Yes. It's a fair bit away. Also, at this point, I feel like your characters are traumatized upon seeing centipedes. So 100 more, so... So it sounds like you're going to keep going on the river through the basin, or you're going to cut across the basin? Yes, you can. So your full rest completes. It is. Yes. 10 square miles. To be fair, these rivers are huge. I believe so. A focus isn't enough to cover that. Like, the focus is what you're casting through, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, actually. I shouldn't speak. Let's just say you can, because if anything, you can always just take a hand off of your axe to cast, because that's allowed. Unless you can get some way to, like, cast a spell and then attack. Unless you get something that, like, lets you cast a spell and attack at the same turn, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you do so, and you'll get to the edge of the lake, and you're off the lake. And as you sleep... As you sleep... Jacob, roll me a perception. I'm the DM. I mean, I could roll a perception for you if you want. Okay. Is this in... Oh, I'm looking in the wrong... Yes. It's during the night, during your bit on the watch. You're all grouped around your wonderful campfire that... Yes. You hear a weird rumbling in the ground. No. In fact, really, you hear it very easily. You hear kind of noises, sounds like people talking in a language you don't recognize. But you know something's coming, and it's underground near you. You're not awake. Yeah. No. But it sounds like they're trying to keep quiet, and they're a bit stressed. And you hear it coming from... The voice, at least, is coming from over here. Like this square. But underground. It's muffled. Are you going to do anything, or...? And upon waking everyone up and screaming that, the group that is hidden is going to emerge from their burrows that were hidden in the ground, wielding hand axes, and they're screaming things in Dwarvish. They're saying, "Murder them and take their things." But yeah, so no surprise rounds. No, no one who's asleep does. No. They are also not Dwerger. They are pure white, even their hair, and they have pink eyes. Clever. Well, I mean, that's what's going to happen, really. I'll put it in for you. Okay. Yeah. Does everyone have their initiatives in? Jacob, you can... Oh. Remember, you need to select your character before you push that button, but I'll put it in for you. So, I'm going to double-check turn order. Yeldrin at 22, Gramdrem at 18, Xerix at 14, Abdal at 14, Albino at 8, and Halstead at 3. Oh, does it actually say their name when I click that? Oh. Okay. I know, but you shouldn't know exactly what they are, so I'll have to be careful for some creatures with that. Yeah. Yeah, like if I click the weapon, if it has like a poison, it'll tell you everything about the poison, including the save. Which, I mean, it makes sense because you don't have to roll for it anyways, but... Initiatives, Yeldrin, you are surrounded by tribal dwarfs. I forget, which is which? I know there's been this distinction. Is fantasy plural dwarfs or dwarves? Are you sure? Because I thought dwarves was the medical condition. That's true. Alright, go for it. That'll hit. 19 will hit. Alright, anything else? Gramdram. That's where he noticed one of them. They all popped out of holes. Well, not alcoholic sheep. Who cares about a sheep that drinks? They dream of alcohol sheep. I don't think you know how digestive systems work, Ron. Well, you have a dream to follow. It's resistant to poison. That's it. Why that one was hurt too? That was strange. It has yeah. Although it hasn't taken a turn yet, so you can get your advantage. Yep. Hmm. Yep. You know why? It's because you didn't add it. You added it to your bow, not your sword. It didn't. Oh well. I just put it in. It's capitalized. Xerix. I hit you with the food that most resembles you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, Oleg, why are those idiots covered in mayonnaise? I couldn't tell you, I couldn't tell you, Erst. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay. And I'm assuming that's, which of them? Oh, I know, but, like, this is from a path, right? Okay. I see. Earth. Okay, go ahead and roll to hit. Well, I mean, like, are you gonna attack it, or? And I'm assuming you're targeting the one in front of you with that ability. Okay. So 13 damage. He is on his last legs after that. But 3. Avdol. Why is this happening? All of their HP is modifying at once, and I'm not sure why. That'll miss. Okay, I'm just going to set their HP and put the damage they have in a different bar, because apparently I need to. How much do you do? 16. Did. You did 11. And then. Okay. Let's go with like that. So after that are going to be them. They're going to swing their hand axes at everyone. So, Yeldrin. He is out of range of everyone, so he will not. But starting at Yeldrin. 14. Avdol. 19. 2 damage. Dram. Crit. 5. Oh, now it's not rolling the damage for me, but I can click the attack to do it. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. And then Xerix. 14. Okay, you take 2, which gets reduced to 1 from your resistance. Alstad. Okay. Oop. You literally get its HP, so look up the lion stat block. Yeah. 26. You don't get a choice, but... because of pounce, right? Okay, go ahead and roll. 24 will hit. Okay. 17. Nope. Four. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Yeldrin. Alright, go ahead. So 3 damage, okay. Alright. Grimdram. And 9 will miss, and Nate will miss. Therex. Okay. It will fail its dex save for 11 damage. That roasts him, and he dies. Avdol. Unless you want to move. You can move still. I always forget. He's not a dwarf. Okay. Avdol, your turn. Go ahead. An 8 will miss. They are going to go. He is going to laugh in Dwarven at you, Avdol, and swing at you. And crit. Doing 5 damage to you. And now Yeldrin. A 16. Yeldrin. 16. Okay, for 3 damage. And Gramdaram, 14. For 2. Halstad. You are lion. Yeah. We went fast. Yeah, 5e doesn't let you just fuck around on something else while you wait for your turn to come up. Okay. Because of pack tactics. 18 will hit. You take a big old chunk out of him. But he's still standing. Yeldrin. Ooh. No. It's only when you leave his threat range. Okay. Alright. A 12 will miss. 6 will miss. 19 will hit. So 4 damage. Okay. He's bloodied. You punched him pretty good in the face. Gramdram. That will hit. 16 will hit. 15 total. That will drop him. I'm gonna move him to the side just in case he might be my token, my initiative token. So I see. So he is dead though. So cut open his stomach. Xerex, it is your turn. You know that the one engaging in Yeldrin in combat is more wounded than the one engaging the giant tiger and Avdol. Yep, now you can hit it from there. That will miss. And we're gonna go to Avdol. Stop talking. That will miss. It's because you keep saying it's the one. He laughs more in Dwarven at you, calling you a scrub under his breath, and he gets an 11 to hit you. Base AC is 10, and so plus dexterity modifier if you're not wearing armor. Okay. 6 damage. As he cackles to himself. Yeldrin. 13. Okay. Halstead, your turn. That will hit. 9 damage. He's starting to eye you more because you're way more of a threat. That is true as well. Yeldrin. That'll miss. And that'll hit. We're developing a pattern here. You're a true monk. Gramdren, your turn. You can. You can just move through allies. There is no flanking or anything in this game, but you can move there. That crits. That rips him to shreds, and as he dies, he's going to shout, "I shouldn't have focused on the idiot," and dies. Good question. Yes, so you 15, and now you can go 15 more, assuming your speed's 30. No. Zerax, your turn. Okay. You have advantage, so go ahead and roll again. That will hit. 5 damage. He's on his last legs, but he's still alive. Oh, Rage. He's on his very last legs, but he's still alive. Avdol, this is your chance. Now that you said swear to God, that will hit, and he will die. I just realized that is the first time you triggered Hex, and it was literally pointless. Just wanted to point that out. You all get 50 experience for that. Hide armor and hand axes. However, if you search them, despite them burrowing under the ground, you find 3 climbers kits. Yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if I remember correctly, it gives you advantage on athletics checks to climb. Climber's kit. You can use as an action to anchor yourself. You can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself, and you can't climb more than 25 feet away. So you essentially anchor yourself into a cliff face. And they're a d6. You can throw them. Dex or strength, I believe. Four total. They each had 1. Geez, Arax. Why does Halstad let you have 2 hand axes? Alright. So you're on the coast of the Aldani Basin, and it sounds like you're going to keep moving towards the giant floating rock. Yes, because that was nighttime, so you're all refreshed. You did identify what the rock was, so I can say its name, right? I cannot recall last session. Okay, so you're just heading towards it. Okay, so in the Aldani Basin, it's going to be 1 hex because it is hilly and plateaued filled. And you're going to have to start making survival checks to not get lost again. Go ahead with advantage. You'll succeed, so you'll move 1 hex. Real quick, though. I feel like a pattern is emerging here. During the night, Ron, Yeldrin, give me a perception. Okay. You just see off in the sky some bird people flying by, high up in the air. Aarakocra. Arakoa is World of Warcraft, I think. No, they move on the ground, I think. It was Aarakocra. Yeah, they're bird people. And you know, from your original identification of them, they're extraplanar creatures, and they constantly fight against elemental evil, which is just a concept in this world. Alright, give me another survival for the next day. Okay. You continue on, and midway through the day, you're going to encounter something. You might see it in advance. See? I need to figure out what it is first. Okay. You hear movement. It sounds like people kind of trudging along. And as you turn a corner, you'll see a group. There are 2 men in robes, a man in leather armor in the front with the short bow out, and 4 people not wearing armor but covered in war paint. And the man in front in the leather armor and the short bow will call out to you. Hail, explorers. How goes your exploring? Ah, the heart of Ubtao, I see. Do you have a method of reaching it, or are you just going to stare at it blankly? It's 200 feet above the air. You must have some way, have thought of some way to get to it if you're going to go to it. He's going to laugh and say, "Ah, to be young at heart again." Seriously though, you need some way to fly up there. Whether it be a mount or through magical means. Then I would suggest not attempting it, as the area is quite heavily undead filled. It is most dangerous. They fly around. They have various nest villages in the mountains. Yes. They are sentient. They are lawful. They maintain their camps. People have had dealings with them, yes. Ooh, let me think. If memory serves, it's either at the junction of Mist Cliff and the Bay of Cholt Mountains, or in the Kobold Mountains. I cannot recall exactly. Not a problem. We are exploring, looking for these tribal warriors ancestral home. They are not. Have you heard any news of Dung Rung Lung? It might have been, but it seems to be a town name. Oh no, that is Aldous Cinder? Artist Cimber. He was the one famous for having the Ring of Winter. You'll laugh when you mention Artist Cimber and say, oh, he's most likely knee-deep in undead right now, most likely, and having a blast. No, but it looks like you might be running out of supply soon. Is there anything we can furnish with you? We are pretty well stocked. I assume you're carrying them, yeah. Yeah, you only have 2 Dimetrodon corpses left. And I don't... Have you fought any other ones? Are you okay on everything else? You have your blocks of repellent? I'll say, oh, unless you're going to restock at Camp Vengeance soon, that might not be enough time to go towards the heart of Ubtao and return. Okay, let's be careful on doing... Oh, it's the GM tab, that's why. Yeah, I was trying to find this to reveal it, and I went to the map layer on accident, and this is just one big picture. Okay, so you're going to head back to Vengeance? You want to travel fast. Well, no, not fast travel, but you can speed up your pace. It'll be easier to be ambushed, but you have a chance of going 2 squares per day. When do you get your flight speed on a flying? 4th? I thought swim was 4th, or was that 2nd? I think it goes swim and then flight, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, so you're gonna head fast back to Vengeance? Okay. Okay, give me another survival for this day. Oh, and during the night, nothing ambushes you, for once. And I'll give you 75 experience each for roleplay experience. Okay. To be fair, you might get the spell fly soon. Or something. Okay. 3 or 4. Okay. Okay. Your pace pays off, and you're able to go 2. However, because 3 out of 4 has to happen during the night, Jacob, give me a perception. Xerex. Okay. You are most likely going to see what's coming up. You hear, as the wood in your campfire burns, a particularly loud crack issues forth, and you hear a rustling from the ground around, not the ground, the territory around you, as something flies out of the underbrush, seemingly startled by the fire pit and almost frenzied. Yeah. And so all of you will be woken up by the sounds this makes. And so you can roll me nature. It is a swarm of something. Okay, with an 18, you know it's a swarm of bats, not centipedes. And they're going to fly around, and you know, very similar to the centipedes, they're going to have resistances towards physical attacks. They're a bit stronger, and obviously they can fly, but they're not going to be as dangerous, if that makes sense. They are not going to do as much if they hurt you. They are blind fight, yes. Or blind sight. It is just one. You also know, with your knowledge, that if you can deafen them, they will be completely blind. But we are going to go into initiatives. No, it doesn't deafen. Silence would do it, which I think you might have access. I'm not sure if druids get that at this level. Oh, they have an initiative button now. That's wonderful. They must have changed something since our last, because I know they update these modules. That is entirely possible. Looks like everyone's filled in. I'm going to go through turns real quick. Yeldrin 21, Bats at 20, Halstead 17, Abdal 11, Xerex 9. Oh, you need to be careful about that. You might be able to click advantage on initiative. No. Okay, so you'll have to fix it if yours is ever better. So it'll be Gramdram first. Go ahead. Okay. You know it's resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. It is immune to the following conditions: charmed, frightened, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, restrained, and stunned. And it is not weak to anything. And you'll do an extra d6. Also, I'm going to remove this. That's not here anymore. Alright, go ahead and roll to hit. That will hit. Okay. You don't get another attack. Yeah. Yeldrin, it is your turn. Okay. Misses. So the bats are going to swarm onto Gramdram, which would provoke from Yeldrin. That will hit. 6 damage. And now they're going to bite at you. Getting an 11. Okay. Halstead, is your turn. Have you seen how badly Avdol rolls? What does that do? I see. Okay. There it is, second level concentration. Target must succeed in a strength or its fly speed is reduced to 0 and it descends until it reaches the ground. Okay, so on its turn it's going to, oh no. So it's going to roll the strength save now then. It will fail. So it's going to lose its fly speed. Yeah. They have 0 speed on the ground, so they are stuck there. Avdol, it is your turn. So, Gramdram, you are swarmed by bats, and as you're screaming that they're biting you, they all just start falling to the ground around you. I'm just gonna make an executive decision. This combat is over. Because it has 0 speed and 0 reach. You can literally walk 5 feet away and wail on them until they all dissipate. Okay, they will dissipate, and for your heroic slaughter of bats, you get 12.5 experience each. You know, 5th edition is really good about there not being save or die spells, and then that happened. You didn't even cook them, you just kind of, they just shifted in. That's true as well, if you want to be... Eh, I probably might be able to argue that one, but yeah, not evil. But all right, so you're 1 square away from the river mouth, so I'm assuming you just want to head to there and take the canoe back. Okay, so give me a survival. You will get lost. Okay, so as you are lost and traveling around, you're not on the river yet. That's why you had to roll. You're 10 miles away from the river, and a freak accident with mist leads you astray. I didn't realize that was the plural of that. All of you don't even need perceptions. You see, way overhead, kind of snake birds, 5 of them flying overhead. These look larger than the flying snakes you saw earlier, and they're pretty high up there, about 100 feet up. I'd say nature. 9, 17. Okay, that's good enough. You can recognize them as Quetzalcoatluses. Yes. Not a Quetzalcoatl, it's a Quetzalcoatlus. It's a giant relative of the pterodon. But they're not aggressive. I mean, you can attack them if you want to. You might... You know they're huge also. So, keep that in mind. You could try and bait them down with some type of meat. You know they're carnivores. The Heart of Ubtao. You remember Ubtao was the original god of Chult that was supposedly dead. Yes. Zanzibar land. But you are lost, so no other encounters through the day. Give me another survival. Advantage before. Okay. You found yourself in this square here, so you can get back on track and get to the river today. And nothing will occur during this day, and you're back on the river. And so from here, no more checks because it's hard to get lost on a river. It'll be 2 days to get to Camp Righteous. Or Vengeance. Yes. Maybe you want to go back to Righteous, see if there are more goblins, right? Okay, so first day, you immediately set out on the river, and almost instantly... What? Oh, okay. You hear kind of a small thumping on the side of the boat. A lot of it. But if you look down there, you can see through the kind of clear waters. There are fish swarming around your boat, but they don't seem to be able to hurt you. How would... Go ahead and roll me a nature. See if you can recognize these things. you can see that they are particularly sharp-teethed fish. And Jordan, with your... No, they are quippers. Legally distinct. And you know, they're quite dangerous if you're in the water with them. But since you're on a boat, you are fine. If you want to try and fish them up, you can get some food. That's fine. Give me a dexterity check to see if you can manage to hit one. Also, Ron, with that nat 1, or not nat 2, getting a 1 on nature, I think you think they're goblins. You can fish them out, so you've got some food supplies. Okay. And as you continue down the river, you run into the group again. And they'll say, "Oh, you're going back to Camp Vengeance as well, I see." Excellent. Congratulations. Is there anything else you wish to ask us? Unfortunately, unless you go back to Port Nyanzaru and look for some type of magical item that would let you levitate or anything of that nature, I do not. Have a safe trip. Alright, nothing will pop out during the night. And as you're approaching Camp Vengeance, of a few miles out... Okay. That would be too much like a lead. You have to be led along by your nose for quite some time still. No, something is occurring, but I need to... What's everyone's passive perception? 13. 8. Does anyone have more than a 15? Yeah. 15, okay. No one is able to see this coming. Something suddenly lunges out of the water. I'm going to move the boat further into the... But... Okay. So, this is a surprise action, so it's going to have advantage on this. And I need to see who's it's going for. Okay. Surprise. Did that go to the... Oh, I put it on the map token so it's under the river. It's really surprise. Surprise! And it's lunging out at Xerax from the edge of the boat. 22 to hit you. And it does 26 damage, and it's trying to drag you out of the boat. He's still alive. So, we're going into initiatives. And it's going to be at 0, because it had a surprise action. Okay, and you're going to go before Abdal. Okay. There we go. Jacob, you weren't selecting your character. I'll fix that for you. It doesn't really matter. Gramdram, you're up first. Giant crocodile. Well, you don't know what this is. Roll me a nature. Tom, you think it's a giant quipper. Will, you think it's a giant quipper. Ron, you can recognize it as a crocodile. Jacob, you can recognize it as a giant crocodile, and you can tell everyone this. It can bite, and if you are bitten by it, you will be grappled. And, yes. And so pretty much, it can only bite the person that it's grappling, and then it can use its tail to try and hit anyone else. Okay. It is not resistant, immune, or weak to anything. It grapples. Oh, on getting hit. No, there's nothing like that. All right. A 15 will hit. So 2d6 plus your damage. So an extra d6 on that. 15. Okay. That carves out a pretty good chunk out of it, but it's huge. You need to do more than that. Abdal. Are you sure you want to do that? Sounds like the catchphrase for a shitty energy drink. Okay. 8 will fail. Halstad. Okay. So, Jacob, this is pertinent for your turn. When you're grappled, your movement is 0. And on its turn, it can choose to drag a grappled creature with it. So to escape a grapple, you can either use Strength Athletics or Dexterity Acrobatics against a DC. You're unsure what the DC is, though. Athletics or Acrobatics. Whichever you want. Okay. Yes, you have to be in melee with it to do that. You're 10 feet away. You can get on the edge of the boat, yeah. He's next to it. Like, yeah. So it's kind of has its mouth on the front of the boat holding him down. 18 will certainly hit. Yep. It's just 3d6, yes. Ooh. A very good hit. It recoils from your fire. Yeldrin. Okay. That'll miss. That'll miss. That'll miss. Xerex, your turn is up. I think I can guess what your first words are. You rage. I would be quite angry if a crocodile took out roughly 90% of my HP in a hit. However, remember, athletics is a strength check. You're going to get advantage from rage on that. Okay. Alright, roll athletics. 13. Or... yeah, for advantage. 21 will escape the grapple as you wrench yourself out of its mouth. No, it's an action to escape the grapple, but you are free. You can use a bonus or anything else. I don't know if you have any actions that require that. Okay. I see. Well, it is going to go. It's kind of confused. It's never really seen anything escape its mouth before, but it's going to turn to look at Yeldrin. And it's going to bite at you. 13. I'm assuming a 13 misses you, Yeldrin. Someone go poke Ron. Well, I'm going to move on to its other action. It's fine. You would have known it anyways, but it's a little unfortunate. And at Halstead, it's going to swing its tail mightily, getting an 11. Okay. Gramdram, you are up. Yes. If you want, you can drop the concentration, but that's about it. Yes. Okay. Roll to hit. Will miss. An 8 will miss. Abdal, you are up. Okay. That will miss. Halstead. Okay, roll to hit. '19 will hit. Ooh, okay. Seems bloodied at this point. Done some good damage. Yeldrin. That'll hit. I mean 21. 3 damage, okay. That will hit. Okay. That one will miss. We go to Xerix. Are you sure you want to do that? It'll know that, though. So it's going to turn its beady little eyes to you. Also, beady giant eyes, because I think they're about as big as your, like, hands outstretched. But, okay. You can reckless swings at it, though. That is your choice. Oh, that's a crit. Yeah, that's true. Let's see if it works. Go ahead and click that. Is it still... Yeah. Syntax error. So 2d10 plus 5, I believe. Ooh. A very powerful blow, but it is not done just yet. It's going to bite at Yeldrin. Getting a 24. Doing 23 damage and grappling him as it holds him in its steel jaws. And then, while biting into him, it's going to swing around and try and smash Halstad with its tail, getting a 15. And it's going to do 17 damage to you and give me a strength check. And a constitution check. Yes. So strength first, so you're knocked prone, and then it's a DC 10 constitution. You are fine. Yes. Gramdram. That's true. Okay. It is seared by the light. I don't know if you realize just how big this thing is. Yes. A 10 will miss. An 18 will hit. 9 damage. You got it on the ropes. It looks mightily wounded. Abdal. The Seeker has abandoned you as your axe swings wildly, Halstead. Okay. Your flame blade will swing wildly as it ducks underneath. Yeah, you've already used it, unfortunately. Yeldrin. Okay. You are currently held. That just means your movement's 0. You can either try and escape, or you can death or glory and go for the kill. Okay. That will hit. That will hit, and that will hit. It will drop dead and release you. Really, if this were reality, you would be being dragged off the boat with it, but... Yes. But with your mighty blows, it will sink back into the depths of the river, and you... Crocodile, but... Semantics. 450 each. That was a very dangerous encounter, for obvious reasons. Alright, so you have arrived back at the camp, and you are all mightily wounded, but alive. Did you actually retrieve it? Because it most likely weighs 7 to 1,500 pounds. It is 15 feet. I mean, you can go into the river and try and retrieve it, but there might be other things that come. Again, it's 1,500 pounds. If you can convince me with a very interesting method, I will give it to you. It's just, it's going to be very difficult. I'd say with all your attacks, there's a couple of pounds of meat just kind of flopped around and floating on the surface of the water. You can collect those. So you have some crocodile meat. No. There might be some brain meats. And I'd say, Ron, you probably punched out some teeth if you want some decorative crocodile teeth that are most likely about half a foot long. But you arrive at the camp. What do you all wish to do? The healer is going to be, you've come back and you look horrible. What happened? Well, we can supply you with some. It'll cost a bit more because we have to be sourced from Nyanzaru, and that's several days sailing away. Almost a week. Longer than a week. But it'll be 3 gold per slab. This is 30, I think. Well, I can check. $20 applications, so 20 days per slab. 3 gold per. She'll say, yes, they have a camp on the unnamed mountains going across the Mist Cliff and the Bay of Chult. It's more towards Mist Cliffs, as they don't like to be near other settlements, so it's somewhere in this mountain range. Although I am personally not sure where. You can do so. Give me an Arcana. Or an Investigation. One of those two. With that investigation, when you ask around, you know that Jordan, you believe that they will respond to yelling and screaming about how elemental evil and the elemental princes will rule the land. But will you know that they are intelligent, and if you flag them down and kind of show something that they would be interested in, you might be able to get their attention and be able to parlay or speak with them. Although you're not sure exactly what they'd be interested in. Elemental evils. So, if you can extrapolate, if you have, say, occultist bloody robes, or something of that nature, or like the Air Prince's idol, or something of that nature. I'm trying to remember what I can from running elemental evil. Maybe. That's true, Tej. They might like it, you're not sure. Alright, was there anything else you want? You can always stock up on more. This isn't something that has like a cap, so if you want more days... $6 gold total, yes. Also, are you actually using that jar for mayo? Because otherwise, if you do, you're actually going to have to keep track of water. Oh dear. Okay. I believe we have time for one or two more days of travel, depending on if we run into any encounters, because it's almost time to call it. Which direction do you wish to go? I'm guessing towards the Mist Cliffs. Okay, so draw me a path you wish to take. The second season of that show got strange. Sure. Give me... You won't need to survival for the first one as you're heading out from the camp, but for the first day, you'll get to here. And you won't run into any encounters on that one. So roll me a survival to continue on to the next square. Okay, you're gonna get lost. Okay. And as you start exploring the jungles... you're going to run into a man. He has a kind of strange glint in his eyes, and he has a flying snake wrapped around his shoulders as though a pet. And he's leading about 8 people And he's going to yell at you, "Stop. You there, you're explorers. Have you seen Mr. Simber anywhere?" What do you know about that? Mm. Well, I have a counter offer. If you encounter him, keep him busy until I can find him, and I'll give you each 100 gold. He's not hiding it very well. He's probably going to try and either kill or wound Simber and steal the ring. And if you got caught up in that, it would be bad news, and a betrayal of that magnitude causing a highly valued adventurer society member to lose an artifact would most likely result in your excommunication. Powerful people believe it shouldn't be in his hands. And that's all we'll discuss on this. Anyways, off with you then. Useless. No, they just look like thugs, essentially. Although some of them look like tribal warriors. But so give me a survival to see if you can find yourself. Yes. You find yourself, and surprisingly, you got lost on the correct path. Okay. And you'll continue on. And during the night. Interesting. It is. So I'll set it up and we will start off with it. Well, it depends. This is something you can choose if you want to engage or not. As you're setting up camp, you see off in the distance the ruins of a building. And you can see things shambling within the building. The river for now. It's not even a perception. Something is off about them. They seem to be ruins of some type. Oh, that's why. You see 10 things. I will see if I can get a description for you. Is there a religion? Give me a religion. Honestly, you don't get a bonus, so you can keep that 20. But you see this, and you can recognize it. They are yellow musk zombies. They do. And so you know, it's essentially, think of it as a natural zombie. It's a parasitic plant that grows onto a corpse, or in a living human, and essentially turns it into a mindless husk. Essentially. And so that's how the undead, quote-unquote, spread throughout Chult. It's a plant controlling them. And so you see 9 of those, and one that seems a bit more... Okay, never mind. It's 9 of the people and 1 of the plant itself, and you can recognize it as the thing that implants the seed in things. Yes. And you know, with your... Give me a nature, because this is a plant itself. It looks like... Okay, Tom. You know the plant tries to overwhelm your mind. It's going to do psychic damage somehow, and it has some way to convince you to approach it. So, you should be careful. It is not. Plants in general just... Actually, I'll give you this with that. It will heal up a fair amount of damage at the start of its turn unless it takes fire, necrotic, or radiant. And then its regeneration will be shut off for the next turn when it takes that. So we will stop there for the night, and we will pick up next Monday at 8 p.m. PST with this encounter. If you choose to take it, you have an option here. Yep. And then the Yellow Musk zombies are otherwise as zombies. They, unless they are hit by a crit or fire, when they would be dropped to 0, they make a Constitution saving throw of 5 plus the damage taken, and if they succeed, they stay at 1 HP. It has to be fire. Kind of weird, I know, but... Yep. Be a zombie. Do you want to be a zombie? You can get it. But until next time, thanks for joining us. That was a fun night, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.